A word of caution. There are scenes in this story which may not be suitable for adults.
It's going to get weird. Yeah, so just prepare yourself. It's going to get really fucking weird.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the React Attack Podcast.
Welcome to the React Attack Podcast. That's right, guys. We are back. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done an episode, but we're here. We've been waiting for the right guest. What's up, nephew? Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here, brother, as always. Been a while since we did an episode, but been wanting to take this new year to do more of these. Connect with artists, producers, creators, anybody out there who is interested in telling their story. We want to connect with those people. And it's a way to kind of promote the music industry, because that's what we do here. I say the independent side of things anyway. So we're going to talk a lot about the independent side of music today. And we're going to talk a little bit about the EP that we're going to be dropping soon. And we're going to be talking with the producer who has been working with me through this whole thing. And it's been an awesome experience, to say the least. And so I'm really excited to have him here on the show, to actually get to talk face-to-face with him, or at least face-to-face through the internet. But before we do that, let's introduce our boy. You guys know him, man. My partner in crime, man. He's the guy that I take with me on all the stuff here. Let's go, baby. Cardiac Kid 86. Oh, hold on a sec, guys. There he is. What up, Cardiac Kid? How you doing, man?
All right, about yourself?
Oh, dude, fantastic, man. It's been a hell of a week. I'm kind of glad this week is, I guess, some people it's starting, some people it's ending. Whatever's happening, I'm glad it's there. That's all I can say.
Same here.
This last week was a hell of a week, man.
Mine wasn't too bad. I had to start back school, unfortunately, but...
Oh, well, lucky you. Wasn't too bad for... No, it actually wasn't too bad of a week for me either, but... You know, we always got those bumps and those hurdles to get through. But I tell you what, man, it feels fantastic to be back doing the podcast.
Yes, it does.
It feels good to be doing that. And we've been doing the Creeker Council, which has been awesome. So shout out to everybody who's been showing up for that. They are freaking sick. Saturdays have been lit. So thank you to everybody who's been doing that. And the people who've been like watching the replays and commenting in that as well. So and if you guys are watching the replay on this, comment down below and let me know that you guys are watching and if you enjoyed it. So anyway, dude, this guest, I'm very stoked for this guest. We've been wanting to get this guest on for a while. Things have finally worked out. I feel like last week everybody just had like a bout of sickness. Like it's just everybody and their mother was sick. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. But again, very excited. Producer, guy's been working with me on the End of the Line EP that I'm working on. And you've kind of been along for that journey, man. Thoughts on from the outside looking in, I guess?
It's looking, it's actually sounding really good. You know, from you show me what you was looking for and him making it into what it is. I like it.
There's been some tracks where I'm like, hey, I Cardiac, look at this demo that I put together. And then, you know, our guest will put his thing together and then show, and it blows my mind. So it's cool to see the process. I hope one day that we can actually get into a studio with this guy, because I think that would be hella fun. to actually get in the studio and like brain collab with this dude because this guy's got a really cool style. And we might be working on something together here real soon, man. Something different, something cool, something a little in your face. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's going on? Boom, boom, room 615. What's going on? How you doing, man? Welcome. Well, I guess with that being said, we should probably just go ahead and get started and introduce our guests. Yes.
Yes, let's do it.
Hell yeah, man. I'm very excited, guys. I appreciate everybody again. And the people who are rewatching, let me know down below again. I'd love to know your thoughts. Should we keep doing the podcast? Should we get more guests? Let me know. Anyway, guys, here's our guest for today, episode 14 guest. That's right, Lorenzo Cole.
What I gotta do to feel like myself again? What I gotta do to finally love myself again? What I gotta say to make it all better now? What I gotta take to save me from falling down? I couldn't tell you where the fuck this thing is going, babe. I'm just doing what I can to make it through the day. These things you say and do ain't the truth. This whiskey got me feeling you proof. So don't tell me about the struggles of a love. You got me living life between this fucking bottle and a gun. I put up with enough and bitch, I'm fucking done. I'm bad love, yeah.
Yo, what up, Lorenzo? How you doing, man?
What up, man? That was hard. That
Cool.
was hard. I like that.
Good, man. Good. I'm glad. My goal is to have everybody smile when they come into the show after the intro. And what I'd like to do is use the intros for like the trailer because you can set trailers up on here. But I don't want to ruin. I don't want to ruin that initial reaction to it because like this is a reaction channel overall, but it's cool for me to see other people's reactions to their stuff that I put together and kind of do my thing. And it's cool too, because I think through those edits, I get to kind of know the artists a little bit more. So
cool.
Dude, thank you for being here. First of all, I greatly appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to talk. We've been working together. I mean, least I could do is hop on and shoot the shit for a little bit. So
hell yeah, dude. And it's been a hell of an experience. And we'll talk a little bit about that towards the end, I think, with the EP that you and I have been brainstorming in, and how it's really cool how I bring an idea to you and then you put your own little twist on it, and then I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, and then you just kind of build from there, man. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but first of all, I gotta know, man. This is kind of a question that I always ask everybody, and it's kind of a basic question, but I feel like it has to be asked. Music. When did you realize in your life growing up that music was where you wanted to be at?
Well, my dad's Sonny Paradise. He's obviously been in the music business my entire life. I mean, that's all he's done as long as I've been around. And around 12 years old, as a kid, really what was crazy is I actually didn't really do much music as a really young kid. I always liked music, I had bands I liked, but at 12 years old, I started playing bass. And from there, I pretty much was just like obsessed with learning songs. And that evolved into, the little stint with Jelly to doing my own songs, learning how to produce, my dad getting back into the game. And I kind of just grew from there.
So it was like, did you ever like collab with your dad then, like on stuff while you were learning to produce? Did you ever like, hey, Dad, let me sit down and record and work with this? Or did that ever happen?
Pretty much everything we work together on, like even Mr. Biggs was produced by both of us. The last zero.
That's a sick album too.
Yeah. And then I've always been a fly on the wall, watching and learning, no matter what. Even if I wasn't contributing, like still just around, you know what I mean?
And your dad's he producer, like obviously he was a producer, but is that where he started, or was he just playing music first and then got into the production side of things after the fact?
Producer predominantly. I mean, he's been writing songs since he was a kid, always loved music. But predominantly a producer, yes. Record executive kind of guy. He's worked at labels before, so he's got a lot of experience and, a lot of knowledge across a lot of fields. He's wore all the hats, Running an independent label, he's had to wear a lot of different hats. So.
For sure. And I would imagine like running an independent label, like you said, with the different hats, it's a completely different game when you don't have money to hire somebody to do something for you in that sense.
Exactly.
But I don't know. Let me ask you this: like growing up and seeing that, and then producing your own independent stuff with independent artists. Where do you see the value in like the independent side of things? I guess because I'm assuming you've seen kind of both sides of the fence, right?
Yeah.
So where does that go with like the independent compared to the mainstream? Obviously, independent being harder working, but your thoughts on, I guess, what you prefer in a way is the pros and cons to both, I guess.
Well, I guess I would say from the independent scene, I feel like the independent scene is what drives the culture of music. I feel like a lot of, for instance, let's just say punk music for example. That culture comes from a lot of underground, a lot of independent type background. You know what I mean?
For
and
sure.
I feel like independent music kind of dictates the culture that mainstream reflects on a larger scale, generally speaking.
Okay.
If I had to give an answer, I
mean, like that I see Cardiac over. He's like, oh hell yeah, that's a phenomenal answer. I mean, and you and I have talked a lot about like Upchurch and stuff like that, and would you use him as an example? He's the one. I think him and obviously a handful of other people were on the forefront of the country rap thing, and I think what made not only country rap popular, but like country popular again. And being independent artists, I mean, and you look at Jelly, you mentioned Jelly, an independent artist originally, now, signed to a label and stuff like that. So, now that's interesting that you say that, man, because I totally agree that's, the underground and then the mainstream recreated or try to recreate it, or, I guess for an example,
it's their job to kind of swoop up what's hot and
for sure
give it the best go it can have to a large audience. So
right on. No, I do. That fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. So I think that's even cool, man. As like you call yourself an independent artist, you could say, hey man, like I could possibly dictate what happens next, and just putting that out there. So I got to ask you, man, we've talked a lot about different styles of music, and I know you've done a lot of like hip hop rap music production and stuff like that, but you've mentioned a lot about rock and heavy music, man. Is that your forte, or is that something you want to dive more into, or is that what you grew up like really enjoying?
I grew up kind of predominantly just around Southern hip hop, obviously with my dad, Street Flavor, and being in Nashville during kind of the inception of that whole style of music, really, But as far as what I like to listen to, especially with playing bass, I was really into bands like Fall Out Boy, Linkin Park.
Hell yeah.
Big Avenged fan, really big Avenged fan. Big Green Day fan when I was younger. That kind of thing.
Oh, hell yeah. Cool. All right. So really, I mean, it shows in your production style that you have a very, wide variety of music that you enjoy. So that makes a lot of sense to me, man. Dude, you and I had talked about doing like a heavy ass track and shit too, man, which I'm definitely down to do some heavy shit because I want to get back into it, because like that's kind of what I grew up with, is that heavy punk rock, hardcore kind of sound. And I discovered country rap. I really like the whole kind of anarchy feel to it. It was more punk rock than like the punk rockers, it's like punk rock what it used to be, right? And that's kind of how I fell in love with like country rap and stuff like that. So again, guys like Church, Jelly, Yellow Wolf, the kind of like the outlaws of country in a sense.
Cool.
So yeah, real quick, Wisco, thank you, brother. Appreciate the shit out of that, man. Gifted 5 memberships, bro. That's what's up, dude. I think that's like 10 this week, dude. Holy shit, man. I gotta play you a little video here, brother. Appreciate the shit out of you, big dog. This one's for you, big dog.
Doing the ooh, oh girl twerking.
Oh, sorry, we gotta play the clips, man. Gotta play the clips. So is there like let me ask you this, is there a style of music that you haven't quite produced yet that you'd like to?
I really want to do dance music, believe it or not.
Really?
Like I really want to get into more electronic and like EDM dancey type stuff, dude. Because like it's weird because I don't really listen to a lot of like that kind of music. Like I'm not in the car like, oh yeah, cool, like all these like dance songs or whatever. But I have this weird kind of like nostalgia for like that early 2000s breakbeat type. You know the scene in The Matrix where Neo is in the club with Trinity?
Yeah.
Kind of like talking to him and stuff and all that. Like that kind of music for some reason, like that early 2000s, like dancey, I don't know, type stuff. I don't know. I have nostalgia for that. So I'd really like to do something.
That's
like
what's
that.
up, dude. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Because
that would be dope.
And video games too, you know, like I grew up on like PlayStation 2, like that's kind of my generation. So that kind of aesthetic and style is like, you know, that's like my childhood thing. So
I always wanted to put together a punk rock band that did like 8-bit sounds. Like, you know, you ever see those guys that like manipulate the soundboards on the Game Boys and they turn them into instruments and shit? I'm like, how cool would it be to have like a punk band and have some dude just on stage playing a Game Boy?
yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So like, would you ever produce, that's interesting, would you ever produce music for a video game?
Absolutely. I actually coordinated the music and did some original scoring for the Dangerous Ways documentary, which is about my granddad's life story and his involvement with the penny stock stuff, which is on Spindat. Y'all could watch that. It's a pretty cool documentary.
Oh shit, let's go. Hell yeah, we're gonna check that out, dude. Maybe we do a reaction to that shit.
Yeah, so for sure, definitely video games, film. Like I'm all into film. I'm actually working on shooting another documentary now as we speak. So I'll be in Miami next week doing that. But yeah, film, video games, I'm all about it, dude. Like scoring and stuff like that. Like I love movie scores. Like I sometimes too, like even for just feeling inspiration, like, sometimes you don't want, I don't want this style, but I want this feeling, like this song makes me feel a type of way. Movie scores and video game scores are great for that because I feel like that's all their purpose is, to make you feel a certain way. So sometimes like I'll go back to like movies and stuff or be like, man, this movie has this like nostalgia to me. Like I want to listen to that. I want to like make something that gives me that same feeling that gave me.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That just goes to show where you draw inspiration from. And I love the fact you say that early 2000 stuff, because there was, it was, to me, that would have been the epitome of technology. We could record, music in a flash. We could, all of that shit. It was really, we still had going outside too, right? So that to me was probably the best era in music, I think.
Well, also too, like, is before social media. So, it was a time where your music had a certain tangible value that you could say, hey, I printed this right here. It cost this much. Here you go. Or I want to hit this town and I want to put up this many posters. I want to give out this many CDs. I'm going to hand out this many. You know what I mean? People were still personable to a certain extent, where it wasn't like, oh, well, if I drop 8,000 reels today, I'll gain one fan. It was more like, hey, let me go hand out some CDs. Let me go shake some hands and talk to people. You
actually had to, like, boots on the ground, actually know how to talk to people and kind of sell your stuff and have a personality behind it.
For sure.
Yeah, that's wild. Because I remember back in the day, like, from the city down from, we had a big punk rock, and that's kind of how I grew up in it. But we had like it was this place called Disaster House where everybody would just meet up on the weekends. And that's what we did. We just destroyed this house with punk rock music. Well, anyway, it was cool, man. I miss that shit. They don't do that anymore. Unfortunately, I don't think you could do that anymore. But I forget what my point was going to be with that. But dude, I think that's cool that you want to produce video game music and movie stuff, because I like directing as a guy who plays music and does reactions and stuff like that. I think directing is a lot of fun, and it kind of in the same vibe with, like, all right, hey, I love the feel of it. I want to kind of put myself in there and move things the way I want to move them too, and kind of get that feeling, and a different way to, bring out that kind of emotion in somebody. I think it would be more difficult personally to do like a movie score. Like, do you look at it as a challenge, or it's just something you enjoy doing?
Not to generalize, but this time around, I wouldn't say it was overly challenging because I was just so eager to do it.
Cool.
And it had been in the works for so long. It was kind of like, I was just kind of in it. Like, I knew the story. Obviously, I've heard the story for so long. So I kind of knew emotionally kind of already what I wanted to get out of it, where, like, you know what I mean? So It was just a matter of just putting it in the right place and like having catchy things that people can remember type deal.
Hell yeah, dude. And you're pretty good at that, man. There's a lot of your shit that I listen to that, like, you can tell your style.
Thank you.
You can tell your style. Carter, you got any questions? You look like you might want to say something over there.
Not yet.
He's just soaking it all in. So, like, what are some of the biggest artists that you say you've worked with? I know you said you did some work with Jelly Roll. Has there been any bigger artists that you've, like, produced, done big productions for? I know Leroy, Mr. Biggs, which is phenomenal. But anybody else?
I did stuff with Charlie P. Charlie P's, he's a pretty influential guy in Nashville. Black Fly Music. Stuff with Haystack back in the day. Um, those are kind of like my big claims, like Leroy, Stack, Charlie, that kind of deal.
Hell yeah, man. Well, dude, it's wild like how quick you put your stuff together, man. I feel like you're constantly moving and like when do you find time to sleep, dude? Seriously.
It depends. The last few days, not a lot, but I'm kind of I kind of like to creative people. Like I'm a schedule person. I like schedules. Like I think I like to be like, hey, I'm waking up at this time. I'm going to jujitsu. I get off and I do this. But I feel like being a creative person that doesn't ever really work out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always like, oh, hey, well, I'm gonna go here. We're gonna do this for like a couple, like 30 minutes, right? And we'll be out of there. Nope, there for 2 hours. We just had like an entire talk. We just made a whole new business deal together. I'm producing 3 songs. Like, you know what I mean? But
That's crazy, man.
but yeah, I definitely am always on the move, especially being displaced from like the hurricane and stuff. Like
Oh.
it's just been very uncomfortable, kind of honestly, to like get in that like lock in and just like chill and be like, okay, I can just focus on this. I don't have to think about this. What else is going on? Where I have to be to where I can be quiet and like mic my guitars, mic backup vocals, that kind of thing. But
Oh yeah, that would so that's it's just basically finding space and time to fit it all in.
yeah, but now I'm good. I'm chilling for right now. And the new space we're gonna do, I mean, we have a lot of big plans for that. And I think Street Flavor is gonna be back probably the biggest it's been since the early 2000s in Nashville. So
Hell yeah, that's what's up, dude. That's what's up. So let's talk a little bit about the hurricane situation, man. What all happened with that, man? Obviously, it fucked a lot of people up, but what did it do for you, man?
well, this is actually my second official battle with a hurricane destroying a studio. So back in 2022, you know, obviously that was during the development of Mr. Biggs and Leroy's stuff.
Right.
We had a spot down in Englewood, Florida, and the roof blew off. We lifted everything off the ground because we were like, oh, it's probably going to flood. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
we lifted
Lord.
everything off the ground. So the roof decided to blow off. So there was no flooding, just just wetness on everything, windows blown out, studio stuff destroyed. So after that, it was kind of like, well, we all got to look at each other and be like, are we going to, cause I don't do anything else. This is all I do. I don't go to work or something or clock in or anything.
Right.
Like, I just do this and like film projects, creative stuff that I want to do. So after that one, there was a lot of talk about like, hey, are we really about this? Like, are we really going to like be about it and build back? Are we going to stop right here and just, you know, be a little bit more like casual, like little setup in the house? Like, what are we going to do? We decided to keep going. We ended up having like a split space with my family's guitar store. We have a guitar shop.
Oh, hell yeah.
Guitar here. And then the back was our studio. So that was kind of the next phase of studios. And we had a flood in there too. The
Damn.
pipes burst. So that caused some issues. And then once we bounced back from that, here comes another hurricane.
Good night.
That did last a good
Just
while.
can't,
Probably
just
about-
can't win.
yeah. So, you know, then the next hurricane comes, floods it out, ruins all my wires, microphones messed up, speakers messed up, gear like just
Fried.
that one. We were like, oh my gosh, what we were considering at that time, maybe like, hey man, maybe it's just not meant to be done. Maybe we need to go back to Nashville. You know, we keep getting hit by these hurricanes, but we stuck it out a little bit, you know, just working from home, just trying to make it work. And just by getting out and, you know, talking and working through the stress and ideas, we were like, hey, I think we're going to lock in here and we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it better than we've done it in a long time. You know, we're going to go all in. We're going to do it. We're going to try to create something cool down here for better, for worse. And that's it.
Hell yeah, man. No, that's awesome. I mean, because like even after 3 times, you almost want to be like, yeah, you know, maybe the Lord is trying to tell us something here.
I mean, really, like, honestly, like there was a time when I was pretty much like, hey, I'm going to go fall back on, you know, like my school and stuff and go get a job and just, you know, if someone wants to work, they can work. And if they don't, then I don't care. Like, cause we were all kind of at the point where we were like, dude, this is just, we're just fed up with this shit. Like, you know, rebuilding and stuff. I mean, especially when it's like your only thing you're doing, you know, it's like, it's just, It's like it's like having a breakup, like, and like you just have to keep being like, oh, I'm going back. You keep just treating me like shit, but I keep going back.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Okay, I hear you on that one, man.
but I guess too, like, you can either quit or you can keep going. It can either be an excuse or a reason. So we're gonna make it a reason.
Hey, no, I love that, man. That's exactly, and that's why I love working with you, man, because that spirit of, hey, I'm not not giving up. And despite all that, you and I have still been able to work on this EP, and you've still been able to help all these other artists who are coming to you, man, which is freaking cool. So, and man, dude, it's just inspiring to me that you're like, man, we keep getting knocked down, but we ain't gonna stop getting up. So I can't wait to see it, man. I'd love to come down when you guys put it together and get in there and do a song or two, man. Fucking love that.
It's gonna be incredible. We're taking a big swing with this spot, so that'll be running the Spin Dad obviously and Street Flavor in the same hub.
Hell yeah, dude. Yo, what's up? Two Mother Trucker says, hell yeah, no quit. F them hurricanes. Yeah, dude.
I agree.
Yeah. We are Mother Nature, motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude. So that's awesome, man. All right, so let's talk a little bit. You had mentioned Spin Dat, and let's talk a little bit about that because I feel like it's been your kind of little thing that you've been working on, your project that you've been plugging away at and making better. Talk a little bit about that. What is it, and how did you come up with the idea?
So it's me, Sonny, and my brother Matt. We're all in this thing, and we basically during the last time the studio got kind of messed up, it was kind of a thing of like, hey, well, actually, let me go back farther than that, because originally back in 2000, my 99 2000, Sonny, my dad, had put together a music platform that was social media, music, and an event platform. So back then, obviously that was like a big deal because that was before a lot of the major social media video platforms came.
Right.
And it was a place where you could actually upload music videos, you know what I mean? Sell your merch,
cool.
Events and stuff. So this was a big deal back in that time. So that was kind of the original inception of Spin Dat.
Okay.
In its essence, that kind of, is all about, feet on the ground, but you have this right here because you're to connect with your fans, to be in front of your fans, upload your videos, you know what I mean? Maximize your profits. That was kind of like the whole deal.
It's like the forefront of using the internet to promote yourself as an independent artist.
Yeah, exactly. And even at that time, it was a little bit ahead of the game as far as people's brains and the way the music industry was still working, because obviously people still had CD players. It's not like now where everything's on your phone. You had to sit at a desktop, bouncing down a video or uploading music video took like an eternity.
Right.
Back then, like, even when I was younger, like, basic things we do on our phone now took like forever.
Oh god, yeah. I remember when like you could get the lighter app that like if you flick the screen the right way, it'll make it look like the lighter lit, and you're like, oh, look how cool that! Fucking cool as shit. It was like top of the peak technology.
Yeah. And so basically, long story short, it was just a little bit ahead of what the technology could do. And so he stepped away from that. Obviously, he kept doing Street Flavor. Elon still existed. That's what the platform was called, elonmusic.com. And a little bit ago, about 2 or more years ago now, can't believe how fast time's going.
Wild.
But we started talking about like, hey, what does the music industry really need? You know what I mean? Like, what are the things, one, that annoy us, but also two, what do we feel like's missing from, especially on the independent side, like what's missing? And basically we were kind of like, one, people don't get paid shit. That's obvious. That's probably, if you ask most artists, that's what they're going to say. Oh, the streaming doesn't make that much money. I don't want to do this because I won't get my money back. What, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We think there's an over-reliance on the algorithm on social media. We think, generally speaking, it does a lot of great, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, you don't need social media. I can just,
Right.
Be on social media a little bit. But we were like, look, the algorithm is dictating a lot. especially with the climate we were in, politically and as a country and stuff, it seemed like a lot of things were just not coming
and
through.
people
Even
paying to promote their shit too. That's the other thing too, is it's like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
always
yeah.
pushing people who are paying, where people who are grinding aren't even getting noticed.
Yeah. And it's algorithms are like a mystery box that you're trying to constantly unravel and figure out. So we were like, no algorithm, people get paid, fan interaction, how can direct to consumer, how can we do this? And so basically we were like, Eline had all the concepts, Eline had everything already there. You know what I mean? So we were like, how can we take that concept, put it into one, and have social media, have video, have music, and get the artist paid?
Which, like, the artists do actually get paid on. So that's the important thing too. Like, so my first song that I ever dropped was Pirate, produced by Dub 3030. I put that up, and I think in the year and a half that song has existed, I've made $5, maybe, something like that. And you can upload a track to spin that, and you're actually going to get plays. People are going to spend money to listen to your music, and you're going to it's wild, guys. Spin that. Cardiac, do we have a link to that? Are we able to get a link to spin that? Because
maybe
you just go to spindad.com, www.spindad.com.
Okay.
We got a website too. We're on web.
Hell yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of let's talk a little bit about the exclusive side of things with Spin That, because I feel like people are missing out on some of these exclusives. Like the exclusive tracks that like drop, because like there's music on Spin That you can't get anywhere else, right?
Yeah. So that was another part too that I kind of left out of that whole equation. So exclusivity. So we were kind of like, okay, so why wouldn't someone pay, for instance, like let's just take me for example. Okay, I'm Lorenzo Cole. I'm loading up a song to Spotify. It's going on iTunes. It's going on Apple Music. It was kind of a conversation like, why wouldn't someone pay for it? You know what I'm saying? Like just hypothetical situation. Well, it's pretty obvious to me. It's because you can get it for free everywhere. Obviously, that's why like people don't want to buy it on iTunes, because you can just pay a major corporation and just listen to it infinitely as many times as you want.
Right.
So to me, it was a thing like, okay, well, how can we, manage that? And also for us, be able to kind of have this kind of boutique kind of like exclusive feel to our app in general, like what's going to make us different, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we were like, okay, so we need to push the exclusive content, you know what I mean? Because I mean, obviously no one's going to want to pay for something they can get for free somewhere else.
Right. No. So what was your response to that? Like, because that is something that's different. That's not something you see. And I feel like Spin That is a very different, very functional, very seamless app, but very different from what you're used to, I think. So what was the response to all that?
Just from people in general, kind of?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always pushback with any idea. I could have said I'm making the same exact thing as Spotify and it pays you more. And, someone's going to tell me, oh, that's crazy, bro. Like, don't do that. Doesn't make any sense. Like, why would someone, like, you know what I mean? But, I mean, to me, value is worth paying for. If you like something and you believe in something, let's say, okay, hey, Ords, I got this pen right here. This is a one-of-a-kind Lorenzo Cole pen.
Hell yeah.
It's $5. You may be like, okay, well, I can go get a whole pack of pens for $1. And then I can say, okay, my Lorenzo Cole pen is $5 though.
Right. I won't have the Lorenzo Cole pen.
It's up to us, the creators. It's up to us, the business owners, to set the value. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And people will pay for value that they want.
For sure.
It's just business 101. Like, we go to Starbucks every morning. We go to Dunkin' Donuts every morning. People spend $8 on a coffee that lasts them one drink. Again, then goes away forever. But you're telling me they ain't gonna pay $1.29 for a song? That's crazy.
That you can listen to over and over and over again.
Exactly, and you own forever. Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
That was kind of like that. Those little kind of things in my head were kind of the whole thing with like the exclusive content, where you're like, because I buy music. I buy music that I like. Yeah, you do. I'm excited to buy music, and it's like, why wouldn't I be excited to buy music?
Well, yeah, you want to pump that. You want to keep that going. I mean, when we invest into things, you have to invest in things that make you money. You have to invest in things that you love. whether it's research or whether it's just, I just love music and want to collect as much as I possibly can, man. You got to invest in what makes you money, man. And it's why I went out and I bought a guitar, and then I think I bought the guitar and I was like, Lorenzo, we got to put this guitar on a track. We're doing it. And dude, you did it, man. That track turned out, Time Flies, turned out fantastic. It went from this like slow, kind of like chill, like vibey song to like this kind of cool, almost like punk rocky, kind of like pop punky, hip hoppy vibe to it, man. It's kind of cool. So I really like that. And there's one part in that song that I really like that you did with the music in there. I was like, shit, I could dig that, bro. I dig that. But anyway. So Spin That, cool, man. Hell yeah. Any thoughts on the future of Spin That? Anything like that? Like what's next for Spin That?
We got a lot of big plans for Spin That. Not a lot I can talk about at the moment, but I had to pull that one on the podcast. Not at the moment, I can't talk about it. But yeah, dude, we got big plans. I mean, that's really my full-time gig. Like that's really what takes up most of my brain power throughout the day. Like it's constantly thinking about Spin That, constantly thinking about what we got to do, what to think of, what ideas do we got, how can we make it better, what can we improve, even if it's just one small thing a day, like it's, that's progress. So
hell yeah, man. No, absolutely, dude. That's freaking awesome, guys. Go check out Spin That for those of you who are watching, even watching the replay. Links there. Let us know what you think, man. And they can follow you on Spin That too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's got a full social media. So yeah, follow, message. You can send me a message on there. You can donate to your favorite artist. You can do all that.
That's what's really cool is the fact that like if you have a favorite artist and you want to support them in that kind of way by buying their music, it's a direct, like you said, to consumer transaction essentially.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's not like people sticking their hand in the money pot and taking their little share and taking their share here. And no, it's none of that. It's somebody pays you to do your thing, man. And yeah, that's fucking sweet.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, all right, Cardiac, any questions at this point? You just enjoying the conversation?
Just enjoying it.
And we'll talk. I want to, before we let him go, it could be after the show too. It's fine. I want to talk to him a little bit about that feature that we want to get clips on because, yeah, I think Lorenzo could put some super dope beats behind Clips's voice.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, anyway, all right. So, music for you, man. Okay, so I know you're obviously a musician, producer, all that stuff. Is there a band? Is there music that you're going to be releasing soon, or is it just Spin That in production? What's the music thing for you?
So, like I said, my brain power is very consumed by Spin That in general, and I'm very comfortable in that position too. Like I found that I'm very I work very well in that role. I've struggled in my time trying to do the artist thing specifically too. Not as much the producer side, but with the artist side, just being out in front of people all the time, always making content, always feeling being a little putting myself in that nervous situation. You know what I mean? Everyone gets a little anxiety, kind of doing things. You want stuff to be good. You don't want to look like an idiot. You know what I mean? But I found a lot of comfort in what I'm doing now and a lot of confidence too. You got to have the confidence to do it. I'm just not, I do like coming. I like doing shows like this, podcasts and stuff. I'm just very terrible at sitting in front of the camera and be like, what up? You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll do that all day.
That's it.
Oh,
that's it.
Well, Oh, go ahead.
It's just, I have fun, obviously, even doing stuff like that. But just in this role, I feel very comfortable. But as far as music, I mean, obviously producing is my main gig. I would say that's my passion. That's what I'm coming to be known and accepted as. But I do have a band project, a collaborative type project in the works, leaning a lot more rock, a lot of electronic kind of influences. So that'll be the next thing for me as far as me as the artist, I guess.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm stoked for it, bro. And I think those are two things with the electronic kind of element and the rock element, dude. Especially producing End of the Line. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like there's a lot of that going on there. Maybe not quite as heavy as you're thinking, but as an artist myself, I guess I wouldn't even call myself an artist. I'm a guy who likes to write music.
Yeah.
And this stuff has turned out very differently than I thought it was going to, but I absolutely love it, man.
Good. I'm glad. I like when because if you're energized, that means it'll sell, and that means people will connect with it. Because you know what I mean. You can make all the banging beats in the world, but if the artist ain't feeling it, man, then it's
facts, dude. It goes back to that confidence thing you were saying.
Yeah.
Man. In the audience, people who are listening, people, it's kind of crazy how like when I started the production stuff with you, going back and forth, because it was very different with Dub. I wasn't as involved. He kind of just did his thing, and that was that. Where with you, like we were able to kind of collaborate and stuff like that, which I really like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets me out of my element and thinks like you send something over. Hey, what do you think of this? All right, that's not what I envisioned, but I really like this about that, and I think that actually works a little bit better. And one thing I really like, and I'll just say this, is that if the songs that we have so far that I've listened to from front to back, very cohesive sounding, very much in the same kind of vein, which I'm assuming you kind of had that in your thought as a producer, like, okay, well, this is going on the same thing. Let's kind of keep that same vein.
Yeah.
And then sent over End of the Line. And dude, I like, you tighten that up so good, bro. I was like, damn, all right, dude, that's fucking, I'll dig that shit. May I have another, sir? Please and thank you.
Hell yeah. That's one thing about me too. Like you touched on that a little bit, but like I'm not necessarily like a beat maker in that sense. Like I'm not the type of guy. It's like, oh, I have like 800 beats on standby. Like I can just email you MP3s. Like I'm much more like the way me and you work. Like that's the way I do it. Like, you know what I mean? And I know maybe it kind of limits me in the sense of like I'm not placed as much, I guess, generally speaking. Like I'm not on as many projects, but to me it's more of a thing. Like I'm more of a record. I like to make the record. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to make records. I like selling beats is cool. Like some people are really damn good at it. Like, and they just have that output like that. But for me, it's more of like, how can we make the song? You know what I mean? Like, what can we do to like make the song a cohesive thing? You know what I mean? And a unique thing too. Like that's important for me too.
Oh, for sure, dude. I love the way that you do it, man, because again, it kind of gets that unique thing. It's not somebody that's like, like, and I love Dub 3030. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, okay, so you go pick a beat, you buy the licensing to it, and that's all well and good, and his production is phenomenal, dude.
He's the man.
He made me sound like a fucking canary, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think with you, it's a little more. It's unique. It's personal, right? It's just
a workflow thing. It's just the way I do it. It's the way I watched my dad do it. It's just just kind of what I do.
Well, and that's what I love about working with you, man. You're just on the fly, bro.
What happened?
I just like the way that we work. I love it, dude. I love that collaborative. It's almost like being in the studio with you as we build it, but it's over time, and we can kind of communicate in whatever way we need to.
Yeah, like that. Like I like to completely take the producer role. Like obviously I'm making the beat, quote unquote, right? But like I like to take just the role of like, hey, let's put this record together. Like that's a producer's job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In my eyes, I don't know. I just don't have that output, man. Like I tried, like, it's hard to keep that output of like, here's a 30 beat pack. I'm like, look, man, let's just get on the phone, dude. Let's just talk about what you want and let's make a record.
That's the shit I'm talking about.
A lot more personal.
That's the way. That's just the way I roll. That's just me.
And and nobody's gonna grab that same beat and do a different track. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the individual, and that's kind of, dude. I work better under pressure, man. I honestly do. I do. I'm sorry. I'm a lazy fuck.
I like to be challenged. I like when like someone's like, I don't like that. Or like, hey, like that sample flip sounds weird. Take that out. Okay, well, let's play guitar on this, or let's replay this. Let's you know what I mean? I like to have that little bit like, I don't really like how you did it here. Like I kind of rather be that sounds more like an intro part. You know what I'm saying? Like I love those conversations. You know what I mean? And I feel like you keep the energy going too. That's like a big thing, like with like trying to, for me at least, a challenge for me, like selling like beats and stuff, like keeping the energy going. You know what I'm saying? I like to maintain that momentum of like the actual process of record making, and I feel like it just creates a more fun thing. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's
All
just
right. Absolutely, dude. No, I mean, like, who doesn't want to be in the fucking studio, like, collaborating with the producer, and be like, no, man, I like this track. Like, which person who writes music hasn't dreamt of that moment, right?
yeah.
Dude, I'd be lying if I didn't say that. Like, yo, these songs that you and I have been working on, Lorenzo, I haven't like been on this guitar pretending to be on stage singing and playing these songs that we've written together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the shit I'm talking about, man. And
Yeah.
you know, who hasn't thought of that, man? That's the to me. The whole collaborative thing, the minds coming together and creating that's what it's all about, dude. It's art, right? It's an interpretation of somebody's feeling, emotion, thought, all coming together. Yo, real quick, that's pretty fucking wild. Who the fuck is Justin Time? What's
Shout
up
out
for the
Justin
super
Time.
sticker?
Shout
I
out
don't know.
Justin.
I don't know what he said. What was the super sticker?
It's looks like a bird laying down. Says, "How's it going?"
Hell yeah.
How's it going? Hold on, we got to hit him with the.
Maybe I do smoke too much weed. I don't know. I'll go pray about it and see if God has anything to say to me.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that. Sorry it took us a while to get to that. We're just in the middle of this conversation with our boy Lorenzo Cole.
That's cool. That's cool that Justin Time's seeing this. I like that. That's dope.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. All right, so dude, that's cool. I love the process, the writing process. Let's talk a little bit as we get ready to we're kind of coming into the final stretch of this thing. And if you're cool to do like 10 minutes after the fact for our members, I want to do kind of just some like goofball questions, man, and kind of get to know you a little more on a personal level and give some content to the members.
I'm down.
So, all right. So obviously we talked a little bit about the future of Spin That, or you talked a little bit about where you're at with the music stuff. And then the production side of things. Like, is there any projects that you want to work on? What could be anything, could be another YouTube channel, building Legos or some shit, could be anything. Is there a project that you're like, man, once I have time, I want to work on that?
Honestly, like, that's a good question, man. You got me stumped. I'd really like to do more rock music, generally speaking. I just be involved as a complete producer. Like, just, I want to be like in there, like crafting these, kind of like we do virtually. I want to be like there, like making these records. So I guess just a rock project to generalize a little bit
as a producer.
And I would love to do more stuff just in the Southern hip hop lane. And you know what I mean? I got some pretty big shoes to fill, obviously, to live up to. So I would love to do some more stuff like that and make some classic trunk bangers. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Oh, and dude, you're on the way to it, man. You've made some of my shit sound amazing, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's blowing my mind. I've had such a good time. But all right, cool. So more rock stuff, which I think we should definitely start talking this next project, because my next project, I want it to be that rock, that punk heavy, kind of like maybe a little more gritty, hardcore vibe to it. So if you're down for that, man, I'd love to start collaborating on this next project.
Cool.
But we got to release this first project.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that, man. As we wrap this up with the EP, End of the Line, kind of an idea of like going into, all right, I've reached the end of the line of like dealing with the bullshit in my life, and I'm going to start doing things to better and change my life, wake up every day, be the best version of me I can be, that sort of thing. I've reached the end of the line, and dude, I've had such a good time writing this stuff, and there's been a few songs on there that I've written years ago, and again, stuff that you and I have just kind of like put together on the fly. But I think so far my favorite track is the one we just finished up, which is the title track, End of the Line, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's me on guitar, it's me on vocals, and it's mostly me. I think you did, you tracked the drums, put the drums together, and filled out that bass so nice, dude. The bass guitar, everything's good. And the reason I wanted to do that, and it's I think the most different song on that whole project, because I want to kind of like go into that heavier rock stuff. That was kind of like, all right, the end of the line, this is a sample of what's kind of to come. Tell me a little bit about like working on the End of the Line. Like what are your thoughts on some of my stuff, man? Be brutally honest, bro. I want to know. I gotta know. Not to put you on the spot.
I think we worked together really good. I thought we had just a very easy, like, no stress, no like awkwardness, because that's the worst. Like, bro, I can deal with stress, bro. Like stress, I'm like cool. But when it gets awkward and I'm just kind of sitting there like this, I'm like, no, like. But no, I had a lot of fun, dude. I think you got some good stuff, and I'm glad that I got to like kind of do this EP, kind of.
Cool, man. Yeah. Again, this being my first project, very nervous about it. And I know at the beginning of it, hey, I was really nervous, bro. Oh, hey, man, like if it needs something different, let me know. If it's not right, bro, just let me know if it's not good. And there was a few moments there where there were some things that you were kind of like, hey, man, like you might want to retry this.
Yeah.
Do it, try this a different way. And
yeah, well, it doesn't do me any favors to not tell you either, because then if it says it's produced by me and then they're like, why the hell didn't he say sing that again, or hey bro, like change that guitar sound or something, I don't know, something like that, like I wouldn't really be doing my job.
Dude, 100%.
Correct.
And your communication on it, absolutely amazing, dude. I feel like a lot of people also have a hard time taking criticism too. Have you ever experienced that in the studio where like you're dealing with an artist and they're just fighting you on everything?
I've witnessed quite the frustration level in the studio. We'll just say that. We'll leave it right there. I've seen I'm not even talking like just like artists. I've just seen some moments in studios, but just high pressure, like, I've had my moments too, dude. I've got fucking pissed in studios, like fucking pissed.
You gotta tell me the story, bro. You guys, you don't have to name names. You don't have to name names, but
I get pissed at myself a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm one of those, or like I feel like something is like pulling me from doing it. And I'm just like, I just lose my, like I'm just one of those type of people. I'm so overly hard on myself about everything. Like I don't know. I get so frustrated.
I get it, dude. There's times where I like it was we were working on Time Flies, and there's that bridge part towards the end where I was singing, and that was kind of you were like, hey man, you might want to try this. I'm just having a hard time making this do its thing, and dude, I was getting so pissed at myself, like fuck, dude, like, or how am I gonna sing this right? Because I'm not classically trained, professionally trained in singing at all, dude. I know that if my voice sounds good with what's being played, and I just kind of go from there, and yeah, so I can totally relate getting pissed at myself, especially like let's say a guitar part's not working, and I think the solo for End of the Line that I did, that was getting pissed at myself for that, because I'm like, God, I can't, anything that doesn't really just sound like good with it. It's not even that the notes were bad, it's just the arrangement of the notes. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm really keen on what's going on there, and then it just kept snowballing from there.
Yeah, but that's good though. I mean, it's just part of like, and we're guys, so like we're kind of low-key mad all the time to a certain extent, like slightly irritated at all times.
Yes,
at least
yes.
Like, I mean, and I'm half Italian, so that's probably why too. But,
oh shit, yeah.
But yeah, like
you talk with your hands too,
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not like, I don't belittle people or like try to discredit people, like, you know what I mean. I all my frustration usually just comes because I'm like, damn it, like I want this to be a certain way, like, and I'm trying to get there, or like the artist is trying to get there. Like a lot of the moments that I've been involved with, it's more of like, this isn't because we are mad at each other, or like this person sucks, or like they're, it's more of like, we know what we want. Like you've seen, like, I don't know if you've seen like any documentary with like Aerosmith, perfect, like behind the scenes, like where he just kept pushing the drummer like over and over again, like, dude, I know you can do this, like I know you can get this take like this, and the drummer's like, I don't want to do this no more, like, you know what I mean, like, right. I gotta get out of here. But yeah, that's really the kind of things, but
you always end up finding a way to make it work.
Got to. Yeah, it's not personal, like, you know what I mean, like, it's okay to be challenged and have that amongst your, like, people get, like, I'm sure there's situations where people have falling outs and stuff about that kind of stuff. But I mean, maybe it's just the type of person I am, dude, but I have to have that. Like, I need someone to be like, even like, my dad does it for me and I do it for him. Like, especially like collabing, like, hey man, like that doesn't sound good. Like, why did you record that vocal that way? Or like, hey man, like, you should have paid more attention to how you did this. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. No,
we
dude, that's
totally-
awesome that you and your dad have that relationship that y'all can be just fucking, hey, no, man, like this ain't right. Do this.
Yeah.
And
And
again,
it's frustrating, but I mean, that's part of like creating things. Like, you know what I mean? Even with the spin that thing, like you have to just talk and get frustrated and go through that creative process, or you're never going to have anything worth talking about. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, 1,000%, man, 1,000%, dude. Well, dude, I'm so unbelievably stoked about like the future of what you got coming up, the production side of things. I'm very excited to start working on this rock project, but we got to get the EP done first, which we will be releasing that soon. We got one more track to work on. I'm thinking this one's gonna go super smooth. I've already started writing lyrics. I've already started putting it together, and we'll be in touch more about that. But
Yeah.
very excited to wrap up this EP and get that out. Being the first project, man. Hopefully people like it. I'm very nervous about it, but in the same sense, like you got to start somewhere. You got to rip the Band-Aid off, put it out there, and hope people like it. And if not, just listen to the criticism and take it in and go from there. But I will always write shit that I enjoy listening to, whether nobody else enjoys it or not. But I feel like if I enjoy listening to it, somebody else out there will enjoy listening to it.
Yeah. If you can enjoy your own music, that's really the hardest thing, bro. Because
Nice.
don't be the artist like me that's always like, man, I could have done that differently. I could have done that better. Like, just have fun, man, and like enjoy what you make. You know what I mean?
That's kind of been my experience with this EP. Really,
Yeah.
is just like starting off being overcritically of myself, and then in a sense of being like, okay, no, I can put out as much music as I want. This is just one project that is going to be in a sea of many other projects that I work on. And it is something to be proud of. It's my first project. I worked with a phenomenal producer, Lorenzo Cole, and man, I'm proud of it. I'm excited for it, and I'm glad I'm starting somewhere.
Yeah,
that's just what it is, man. All right, real quick, before we like say goodbye to everything, is there one thing, like a bit of advice to anybody in the production side of things, or even the music side of things, a bit of advice that you can give people? I know it's kind of a cheesy question, but any kind of advice, man, any kind of advice that you want to give the up and coming producers out there?
I would say embrace frustration. Embrace things that seem like failures at the time. Embrace that insecurity you feel or that worry you feel doing the things that it takes to be a musician or a producer nowadays. And do it in a way, present the value that you believe it has, for better or for worse. Because if you can't sell yourself on it, you're never going to sell anyone else on it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's music. It doesn't matter if it's hell, it don't even matter if it's just you trying to hit on a girl, dude. Like, if you don't believe in yourself or what you're doing, you ain't gonna get her.
That's it, man.
That's exactly.
Do the same thing with whatever it is you're working on. Whether you're a fighter, you're a musician, you clock in every day, and that's all you do, and you don't want to do anything else. Like, just be about it. Be about it. Immerse yourself in it. Listen to people. Network with people. Make friends. Don't try to make enemies. You know what I mean? Like, no one likes that. No one likes someone who's always trying to make enemies to make themselves look good. No one likes that. Like,
no, man.
Make friends, shake hands, kiss babies, and present the value you believe you have or what your product has, and go from there.
Fucking hey, dude. What can I fucking say? That's
yeah.
amazing, dude. That might be some of the best advice we got out on this fucking show, man.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, Lorenzo, we're gonna do like I said, a little 10-minute kind of quick, just ask some goofy questions and shit.
Right.
So we're gonna pretend to wrap up the show here for the audience that's viewing and the non-members. Sorry if you're not a member. There was 5 gifted this show, so if you got a membership, you're gonna be able to watch it.
Cool.
But if not, check out the memberships. Man, Lorenzo, dude, thank you so much, bro. So just sit backstage for a second as we wrap the show up. I'm gonna play your intro for your outro. It's just what I do. It's my thing. And dude, Lorenzo, we got to have you back on. If you got any projects you want to talk about, anything that you want to just come on and just fucking hang out with us and talk shit, bro. That's what we're here to do, man.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. All right, so sit tight in the backstage as we wrap this up, and then we'll do our quick little 10-minute powwow. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us tonight, stuck through. Thank you to the people who shouted out. I do have to say thank you to Just in Time for the dono. Appreciate that. Thank you for
that was cool.
That was cool. That was cool. I'll give it to him.
That was dope.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. we'll talk about that another time. With that being said, man, Lorenzo, thank you for everything, bro. Seriously, man, I cannot wait to work with you on this next fucking project. And sit tight. We'll throw you backstage and wrap up the show real quick.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, man. Lorenzo Cole, everybody.
What I gotta do to feel like myself again? What I gotta do to finally love myself again? What I gotta say to make it all better now? What I gotta take to save me from falling down? I couldn't tell you where the fuck this thing is going, babe. I'm just doing what I can to make it through the day. These things you say and do ain't the truth. This whiskey got me feeling you proof. So don't tell me about the struggles of a love. You got me living life between this fucking bottle and a gun. I put up with enough and bitch, I'm fucking done. A bad love, yeah.
What a hell of a guy, dude.
Yes, he is. He's awesome, man.
Awesome, dude. Shit,
Yes.
dude, I can't wait to work on this rock project with him, bro. We're gonna fucking get wild. We're gonna crank up the motherfucking guitars to 11, and we're gonna blow the fucking speakers off all the
You
cars.
gotta put those drums to use too?
These ones?
Yeah.
These ones?
Yeah.
Oh, probably not.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not that good of a drummer, man. I got Lorenzo for that, man. I'm not that good of a drummer, man. I got the real musician backstage waiting for us. But no, it was great to have him on, man. Thanks
Yes,
everybody
that
who
was
came
awesome.
through tonight, dude. What can I say, Cardiac, man? Fucking episode 14 kicked it in the fucking ass, bro.
Yes, sir.
Man, dude. Anyway, all right, we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. Like I said, we're gonna have a 10-minute little thing hanging out with Lorenzo Cole for the members. So members, stay tuned. It's coming. On that note, we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. Thank you for hanging out with us, guys. Cardiac, any final words? Anything to say, my man?
Y'all have a good night and don't work too hard this week.
No, yeah, well,
I don't know.
yeah, don't do that, man. It's winter time. Stay inside, eat food, do all kinds of cool shit like that. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Episode 14. We'll catch you on the next one. Remember, everybody, stay nuclear. Peace.
I will be talking to the cameramen on the headset. It will be Terry's job to give the actors their hand cues.
Oh, excuse me, Russell, but I believe I requested the hand job.
Well, they say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Good night and party on!
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, Gar.